Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, part 5 of Rolex talking points. Now, last time we talked about the Rolex, well, we mentioned the Rolex Attentia scope. And pages 12 and 13, I think, go into more detail about that. So at the end of the last video, I sort of flailed a bit in explaining what happens, and I think we're going to get a better answer than what I try to give you. All right, so taking a look at it, you can see that what we have here is a machine, and it looks like there's water and a watch case suspended in the water. It looks like, well, some sort of contraption. We'll read what these are. This looks like a crystal press to me, and looks like a case back opener here. Let's read and see. Now again, this is page 12 and 13. The Rolex Attentia scope creates a vacuum, and the watch, immersed in water, produces bubbles that escape at the point which is not watertight before the water can penetrate the case. Old apparatus, yes, and a well-tried technique, but it is a valuable complement to even the most modern of machines. This testing of an oyster is carried out at three stages during manufacture. First on the empty case, second after the insertion of the movement, and last before dispatch. Submariner date diving watches guaranteed waterproof to a depth of 300 meters or 1,000 feet, and a Sea Dweller 4000 guaranteed waterproof to 1,220 meters or 4,000 feet are tested in a different apparatus, as always, with a good margin of security and safety. All right, that's interesting. So at least in 1985, they used to test the diving watches in a more, I guess, unique apparatus. It says, we have, and this is the caption for this contraption down below, we have devised special equipment to demonstrate the quality of our products to visitors. Though smaller and more decorative than the workshop versions, they work on the same principles. All oyster, okay, we're at the next page, and let's just, before we get onto that, let's just mention that. That's very interesting right here. So the testing process is carried out in 3 stages during the manufacture, okay? So 3 stages during the manufacture. First is the empty case. Okay, so they check out the empty case. And again, I seem to have gotten it kind of right, that video before, where, yeah, it's put in the water, it's pressurized, and then they check out the points where water escapes before the water has a chance to seep in, I guess because the air is coming out. So it's tested on an empty case, and then after the insertion of the movement, and then one more time before it's dispatched. So my assumption is they'll test out the case, and that's fine, and then they'll put in the movement and they'll test it out. Then they'll regulate it, and right before it's ready to go out the door, they do it one last time. Pretty interesting stuff. So, and again, that would be on a different machine than the dive watches, which I guess are on a separate machine. These days, my guess is that in the 30 years since this was printed, they've probably developed a machine that can do it all. And my guess would be that they would probably use the same machine for all of the oyster cases, but just with a different setting for the dive watches versus, say, a perpetual or a Datejust. Okay, looking at the next page, I think this is the crystal press at the bottom, and then a case back opener. All oyster watches are blocked with the help of hand and power tools. Blocking, quotation marks, blocking guarantees that the back is so tightly closed as to be waterproof. It also makes it difficult for just anyone to open the case. Indeed, Rolex insists that only Rolex dealers have access to the movement. On this page, we show you 2 examples of the blocking apparatus. All right, so if you've ever seen the back of a Rolex, it's not something you could open easily, and man, you wouldn't want to. There goes your warranty. But you can buy case back openers, but I guess in this, when this was printed, perhaps you couldn't get a case back opener like you can as easily these days. As far as ever wanting to get a case back opener, man, that's not something I'd ever like to do. First of all, I wouldn't want to void any service warranty that I may still have on my watches. But even for, say, the Sub, which I think is past its service warranty of 2 years, I just again, there's something just well, I don't know. I just would not want to open the case. I wouldn't want to let any dust in. Something akin to sacrilege, I think, I would feel in opening the one of my watches. But it's interesting because you can't really see the movement, and it's odd that I've never seen it inside of my watches. It's a pleasure denied me, and well, it just comes with owning a Rolex. But yeah, you can get case backs with a crystal. Now, it's not made by Rolex, and Rolex wouldn't guarantee it. But if you go to an independent, they can install it, and then you could see the inner workings of your Rolex. Would I ever do that? I would be tempted, but I think I'm too much of a purist. It would bother me to have a component on the watch that is not Rolex. But it would be nice to see the movement, but I don't think I ever would. And it's a novelty that I think would grow old pretty quickly, and you'd see the movement a few times, and you'd look at it a few times, and I think I would just miss the authenticity of the watch. And of course, you would keep the case back, and you could take it back to the independent, and they could replace it. But yeah, I guess I'm just happy to leave well enough alone. Anyway, take care. Hope you're enjoying these. See you next time.